All right, let's begin our conversation on Delta State. We're happy to have Comrade Dr. Ofehe, who of course is the Executive Assistant to the Delta State Governor on External Relations and Diaspora Affairs. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Delta State did not attract any capital in the fourth quarter of 2023. Most of those funds, in fact, all of them went to Lagos, the FCT, Rivers, and Ekiti states. Why is that? What do you think the situation is?
Well, I've not been involved in the government in the past years, but I am in the government now, and my core responsibility is to bring in foreign direct investments. As you know, Delta State is a state with huge potential, and of course that's why I can see the disappointment in you and a lot of people that we've not been able to attract a single FDI. But that narrative is changing. If you look at the current budget, you will see that the state has pegged the budget at about $716 billion, and what they've done is to sort of like cut off about 12%. This is 12% less than the budget of 2023. And now we have a governor in place that was a former speaker of the State House of Assembly who presided over the 2023 budget, you know, and so he understands where the challenges were in the 2023 budget. He understands the gains of the 2023 budget, and he has brought that now as a governor. You know, so there is political transition and economic transition from being a speaker, from being the Speaker of the House to becoming the governor. So now, if you look at this budget, you'll find that in order to create space for capital expenditure, they've cut down on recurrent expenditure to open up room for capital expenditure, knowing fully well that for you to be able to attract foreign direct investment into the state, you have to look into your infrastructure. Which is what we're doing now. So in his first 100 days in office, he signed a major construction contract with Julius Berger to look into the Warri Houses, which is the commercial nerve of the state, in order to open up space to ease, because one of the fundamental principles of his government is to create the ease of doing business in the state. So, and then he has been moving around, commissioning projects, inspecting ongoing projects, ensuring that today Delta State is one of the states that is not owing any of its contractors. So most of them have been mobilized to site. 2 days ago, I was with the governor in my presence. He approved more than $1 billion naira for a major project in education in one of those campuses in the state. So I see a proactive governor who wants to change that narrative, and that is what has stimulated me to go out there and see how we can woo investors to come into Delta State, because of course Delta State has all of the potential in terms of mineral resources, in terms of, if you look at even oil and gas, if you look at marine, if you look at blue economy, if you look at energy transition from fossil fuel to a clean way of generating energy. There are so much investment in that. So
that's the thing. I mean, with all these potentials, if you look at foreign direct investment for Nigeria, it's come down, and a lot of these states have so much potential. So we always wonder why these funds aren't coming in. But I think you're working on something on oil and gas to get some investment in there. So tell us about it. Is it a promise to invest, or what are you working on for oil and gas?
We're looking at, I mean, like you said, we cannot have, currently we are the largest producer of crude oil in the country. We have the highest gas reserve in the country. And so we cannot continue to have those potential and not have a direct investment in those sectors, or rather not make something out of that by creating jobs for our people directly and indirectly. So in the last 3 weeks, I've been to 9 cities, 5 countries within Europe, not even trying to woo them. I went there because they already have interest in wanting to come to Nigeria and do investment. So I was in Stockholm, Sweden, and the reason why I went there is because we're looking at a modular oil refinery project that has the capacity to produce about 20,000 barrels of crude oil per day. And the reason why this is very interesting to investors is because of the location of the site. It's just 1 kilometer. It's within the Baramatu Kingdom. It's 1 kilometer away from Chevron facilities, and then it's just about 500 meters away from two of the major manifolds, the crude oil manifolds and the and the gas manifold. And then 2 kilometers away, you are on your way to the Atlantic Ocean. And the depth of the sea level there, it's deep enough to bring in mother vessels to site. So these are the things that I took to these potential investors. And we're looking at attracting $400 million from the Swedish Export Credit Bank to facilitate that. And the good news about it is that there is also a Swedish company that is interested. This company is going to be the one building the modular itself, you know. So it didn't take much to convince them, throwing all of these advantages that are within so it's close to stock feeds and all of that. So it's one area that we've been able to secure investments. And we're not even ending there. I was also in Milan. There are Italian investors who want to use modern technology to come in and set up a mega city, you know, and they're looking at a minimum of 2,500 homes. And the beauty of that is we're not going to rely on the dilapidated power system in the country, because the technology they're bringing in is going to use hydro, it's going to use solar to give energy to each of the buildings within the estate. And then we're going to use hydro to supply water, to supply cooling system. And there is even a place for an airstrip. So if you prefer to use helicopter or private jets to want to come in there, you can come in there. And also, just last week I was in Munich, where we also had a talk with a German company that wants to bring in investments. They want to bring in their company. They are the first to produce a hydro diesel agricultural tractor. And over the years, they've been in the business for 86 years. So over the years, they've used modern technology to at least improve their tractor system in a way that they're looking into the African market. And I've been able to convince them that Delta State is the best place. Interestingly, all of these investments are coming with their credit, because we understand the current fiscal challenge that we have in the country, the free fall of the Naira, which is not good for any investments. We see how a time like this, when you're trying to woo in investors into the state and the country, you have investors who are moving away. You know, we have like the PNG, the UK firm, and we have Equino, who are in the energy sector, and we have the Dutch company Unilever. Yep. They're all European companies, and they're leaving. And so it's not good for European investors that you're trying to bring in. However, the potential of Delta State is there for everyone to see. And we have a government today that is willing and able to take advantage of that, and that is what we're currently working on, and we're having results.
Is there a timeline on all from Sweden to Milan to Munich? Any timeline on when these are going to come in?
In 3 weeks from now, the investors will be coming in to sign an MOU with the government. 3 days ago, I had this discussion with my boss, the governor, and then yesterday we finalized with the secretary to the government. So all of what we need from them, I am taking back. And then the next thing is for them to come. And some of them, like the tractor company, a timeline has even been set. So they can do the first takeoff by as early as June. And what I promised my governor, based on the knowledge and experience and capacity that I have outside there and the relationship that I've been able to build with most of these investors, is that before the end of 2024, the portfolio of investment that will come from my office alone will be 1 billion. Because I am personally embarrassed with the NBS report, which has put our state consistently, apart from 2 years ago where we managed to rake in 1.1 million, sorry. But the country as a whole in 2022 could only muster 1.3 billion.
Right.
So, for me, Our target is Lagos State. We will either challenge them, equal them, or even surpass them. The possibility is there. Our state is rich. Marine potential is there. Human capital development is there. We have vibrant youths who are ready to go, intellectually sound. So we have all of this. And the governor is currently, doing a lot on infrastructure. And once we get that right, we will create an enabling environment for our investors to come in, and we will get a success story.
So we can, just to round off, we can hope to see $1 billion coming into Delta State by the end of 2024.
That is my minimum benchmark.
That is it's an ambitious one, and we'll have you back to see if you hit the
You're
target.
From Delta State.
Indeed, so, I'm very happy.
Directly or indirectly, it will also touch you.
Dr. Ofehe,
pray for us.
We certainly will. Executive Assistant to the Delta State Governor on External Relations and Diaspora Affairs. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.